In my last video, I walked you through all the scope out points and secondary targets so you can make most out of the Cayo Perico island. Now the next logical step is to break down which setups are worth doing, which one you can safely skip, and how to approach the heist in the easiest possible way while maximizing your pay cut. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and turn the notification on so you don't miss on any of my future videos. Alright, let's get into it. We are kicking things off with the approach vehicles. Now this is one of the most important choices you will make because it literally decides how you are gonna get into island. There are 6 different approach vehicles available and you will need to redo all these setups every time. But remember, when it comes to finale, you can only pick one. So let's break down all the 6 options and figure out which one are worth your time and which one you should probably avoid. The Kosarka is hands down the best and stealthiest way of approach onto Cayo Perico island. While there are multiple points of entry onto the island, the Dino Tunnel is the smartest choice. This allows you to swim straight to the tunnel and enter El Rubia's compound undirected. Another huge advantage, the Kosarka only requires one simple setup mission. That means less time wasted on the preparation and also much faster finale, making this one of the most efficient and reliable option overall. To unlock this as an approach vehicle, all you need to do is bring one sonar detector. Head to the location marked on the map using a Kosarka fast travel, head inside the Meriwether submarine, grab the sonar deflector and bring it back to Kosarka. One quick mission and the stealthiest way of approach is unlocked. The VLAN is an approach I don't really recommend if you're planning to run the finale as solo. For the setup, all you need to do is steal the VLAN from the smuggler crew and fly it back and deliver it to the Madrasa's hangar. The reason I don't recommend this is that the plane lands you at the very top of the island opposite from the main target. This means extra travel time. On top of that, if you compare the weapon loaded setup, you'll be automatically spotted as soon as you land on the airstrip. That said, it still can work well if you're planning to do it as a team. The airstrip usually has plenty of secondary loot, and since it's close to both of the docks, it gives you multiple looting options before heading to the compound. Still, overall, it's not the approach I would suggest for the best choice. The Alchemist is definitely the most stylish and the coolest way of approach into Cayo Perico. You'll be jumping off a stealth plane and parachuting straight into the island, full on Mission Impossible style. It's easily the most cinematic approach in the entire heist. That being said, it's not the most effective one. The setup alone requires 2 missions, which already makes it less favorable compared to the other vehicles. And while it looks amazing, landing isn't always smooth. You risk dropping too far from the useful loot routes or close to guards. Coolest one for sure, but not the one I would recommend if you're going for efficiency or a solo stealthy run. The stealth annihilator is also one of the coolest approaches into the island, as you will ride a stealth helicopter and get dropped in either north drop zone or south drop zone. These aren't that bad. North is closer to the airstrip and north dock, while the south is closer to the main compound. But compared to Kosarka, Longfin and Patrol Boat, this makes less favorable choice. It also requires 2 setup missions, which takes extra time. It's cool to use, but not the one I would recommend for the efficiency. Another one of the best and easiest approaches is through the Longfin boat. This is basically a high-speed smuggling boat that lets us arrive at the main dock or the north dock while blending in as smugglers. The biggest advantage is here that both north dock and the main dock are filled with secondary loot, and if you feel these 2 areas are heavily guarded, you can always make your way to the airstrip. Grab the secondary targets, then head back to the drainage tunnel for the compound entry to finish off the finale. For the setup, you'll need to steal a long fin for the police impound. Grab a truck with a trailer, tow the boat out of the station, deliver it to the drop-off point. Quick and simple, and you're all set for the dockside infiltration. The patrol boat setup works almost as same as the Longfin, with only real difference being the patrol boat comes with the mounted guns while the Longfin is much faster. Both are solid choices and great for hitting the dock, but between 2 I would pick Longfin for its speed. Still, these 2 are my second favorite overall, right behind the Kosarka. These approaches cut down the unnecessary travel across the island to avoid risky drop zones and making them faster, more flexible and stealthier than the aircraft options. That's exactly why Kosarka and Longfin are my top picks for our approach vehicles. Moving into equipments, 2 of them are mandatory, the fingerprint cloner, and depending on what's your primary target, you'll have to either acquire the plasma cutter or the safe course in case of bearer pawn. After that, you'll have a choice between demolition charges or the cutting torch. The cutting torch is for the stealthier approach. It lets you cut straight through the drainage tunnel for the entry into the compound. You can also use it to cut through the locked doors during the heist. On the other hand, the demolition charges lets you blow open the main gate of the compound, which is much louder and more action-packed route. The setup for each match the style. For the cutting torch, you'll head to a construction site, find a construction hat to make your life easier, or take out few guards, grab the cutting torch and deliver it back to Kosarka. It's quick, simple, and efficient. For demolition charges, you'll need to make your way to sandy shores, hitting one location and then another while fighting a bunch of the enemies before you finally record the explosives. It's full on chaos, which makes sense since the finale with them is full on pure action. For speed, effectiveness, and stealth, I would recommend cutting torch every time. But if you want to go full on Rambo, the demolition charges will give you the final with the bang. When it comes to weapon loadout, you have 5 different options to choose from: the aggressor, conspirator, crackshot, saboteur, and marksman. You can also purchase the suppressors for just $5,000, which you absolutely should. It makes things much easier, especially for stealth. While the choice of loadout really depends on the player's playstyle, I have rarely seen anyone using saboteur or marksman, and there's a really good reason for that. The other loadout already gives you stronger options for short, medium, and long range combat. Starting with the aggressor loadout. This one is built for close quarter combat. You get an assault shotgun as your primary weapon, machine pistol, which basically works like an SMG as secondary weapon, along with a machete and grenades. The assault shotgun shines inside the compound. Even if you miss a clean headshot, you can just spray the guard and drop him quickly, usually without getting detected. It's one of the most forgiving weapons for stealth kills. For medium and long range engagements, the machine pistol will cover you well enough, though it's not the strongest option outside the close and mid-range combat. If you're planning to base your finale primarily around sneaking through the compound and handling guards up close, the aggressor loadout is easily one of the best picks. Next up is the conspirator loadout. With this one, you'll get a new rifle as your primary weapon, pistol as your sidearm, knuckle buster for melee, and sticky ones for explosives. This loadout is extremely versatile as it works well for both stealth and all-out aggression. The rifle gives you the reliable performance across close, medium, and long-range combat, making it a great all-round option. While it doesn't dominate close-range encounters as brutally as the aggressor shotgun, but it gets the job done effectively. The area where the conspirator really shines is its flexibility. If you plan to grab the primary target from the compound and then head to the other areas for the secondary loot, this setup helps you stay undetected and handle guards at any distance. On the flip side, if you prefer going all out, this is easily the best choice out of all loadouts. The rifle's firepower is more than enough to clear the group of guards, deal with watchtower, and keep you in control even if things get messier. This makes Conspirator one of the most balanced and powerful loadouts available, and honestly, this is my personal favorite. And finally, we have the Crackshot loadout. This one comes with a sniper rifle, AP pistol, a knife, and molotovs. The Crackshot is ideal if you're planning to handle most of the heist in the areas outside the compound with plenty of guards and watchtowers scattered across the island. The sniper really shines here, letting you pick off the enemies from the distance without getting spotted. Inside the compound, the sniper still does a solid work at the medium and long range, while the AP pistol handles the close quarters with ease. The AP pistol is the real MVP of this loadout. It's a semi-automatic, has a 32-round magazine, and basically feels like an SMG with an extended mag. That makes it perfect for the quick takedowns in the tight spots where sniper can't help. Overall, Crackshot is a strong, well-rounded loadout for the players who want the freedom to clear the guards across the map while still being able to adapt inside the compound. It's not quite aggressive as the shotgun-focused aggressor or versatile as conspirator, but it holds its own with great balance and reliability. So to cut it short, if you are making most of your heist around the compound, aggressor is the best choice as it dominates the close quarters. If you are running the heist mostly outside the compound, Crackshot works better since sniper and AP pistol cover medium and long ranges with ease, and if you are unsure or just want to go full-on aggressive without worrying too much about the stealth, then Conspirator is the best perfect all-rounder to rely on. And finally, we have 3 disruptions, which are completely optional. Personally, I usually skip them since I always go for the stealth approach to save time and secure the elite challenge, but if you are interested, here is the breakdown. The 3 disruptions are weapons, armor, and air support. This is pretty much like the gun shipment from the casino heist, just broken into 3 different parts. The weapon disruptions lowers the quality of the guns the guards will have in the finale, which I would definitely recommend if you are a beginner, because if you get detected without doing this, those enemies will smoke you fast. Armor disruptions reduces or even removes the body armors from the enemies, making them much more easier to take down with the body shots. And air support takes out enemy buzzers, which would otherwise nail you relentlessly if you get spotted. To keep it simple, if you are going in stealth, you can completely skip all 3 disruptions without an issue. On the other hand, if you are planning an aggressive approach, I strongly recommend doing all 3 of them. It will make things much more easier, or else you'll be up against tougher, armored enemies with stronger weapons, all while being chased by choppers like a friendly ghost. And that's a wrap on the ultimate guide to Cayo Perico setups. If this video helped you, make sure to drop a like and hit subscribe and stay tuned because in my next video I'll be breaking down 2 of the best finale strategies step by step so that you can secure maximum pay cut every single time. Until then, take care.